Welcome to this UniSA Business School case study. We are in Parkside, Adelaide today to visit one of Australia's most iconic family businesses, Haigh's Chocolates. Haigh's is built on solid foundations, family traditions and focus on quality and sustainability. We're going to meet Haigh, CEO, to talk about the challenges that he faced in running this multi-generational business.
Hi, I'm Haigh, Chief Executive of Haigh's Chocolates. I guess because I've grown up with it, I don't sort of really think about that too much. I guess it's nice in some ways to be acknowledged, but in other ways it's a bit of a burden because everyone remembers meeting you and you probably don't remember them. So that has its pluses and minuses, but I guess it does add a bit of pressure that you have to make sure that you not only behave but don't mess the company up. Oh, well, I mean, it's basically to follow the family values in the past that I've grown up with. So it's, honesty and being ethical and obviously having pride and passion in the company and working sort of collaboratively with the teamwork and things. So we just sort of maintain that family feel to the business in spite of the fact that how big it's grown. I mean, obviously with the company being over 100 years old, we want the sustainability to be there. And from the environmental aspect, that probably really goes back to when I first started in the business, we were actually transporting our own chocolates to Melbourne. And so therefore we always brought back the used packaging back to Adelaide. So that really sort of started, I guess, our environmental philosophy of recycling. And it's just sort of really expanded from that. It's now sort of more formalised than it was then, but nevertheless it's part of the business. Look, there was a bit of pressure, I guess, from our customers to have some certified beans and have some sustainability there. And we've discovered that Utz suits our needs best, and it was difficult at the start, but once we got involved with Utz, then it's been a lot easier to source the certified cocoa beans and continue with that path. So we're very happy that that's gaining recognition around the world. Look, I don't think it's important for the brand, but I mean, it's more just the fact that you're giving back to the community, and it's, I guess, been more difficult now with the company because we operate in 3 states, whereas when we were just in South Australia it was probably easy to support all the local communities, but now we have to spread ourselves between 3 states, so it's a little bit harder. But then again, the company's a lot bigger than it was, so each of the communities and states are probably benefiting better than they were in those early days. Well, it's been easy up to now because there's only been one son per generation, so following I think it's the European tradition of the older son gets the business, and the daughters are told to marry well. But the challenges are coming up. That there's both my brother and myself in the business, and we've got a sister, and then there's 11 in the next generation. So we have to do it a little bit differently than it was. So. That's why we've been involved with Family Business Australia to try and help that succession issue for future generations. Anyone that joins the company can readily identify with the family and the owners because they're in the business. So I think it's made it easy from that point of view. It's probably on the other side a little bit harder now that we've got over 500 people working for us. We don't get to know the team as much as we did when I sort of started. Surviving for the next generations is probably a little bit more difficult for family business, but I think every business has a challenge, whether they're a family business or a publicly listed company now, that the pressures are ever increasing to comply with the rules and regulations and being seen to be doing the right things. So succession is probably the one thing that is the big issue down the track that family businesses face that publicly listed companies don't face. Oh, definitely. We get a lot of customer feedbacks and suggestions on new products and things. So we probably bring in 12 different new products a year. And unfortunately, if they're successful, that means we do have to drop some of the slower sellers, which does upset some people that have grown up with those particular products. But we have a full-time product development team working on new products as well as new packaging. So because a lot of our business is at Christmas and Easter, and we rely on customers coming back at those times, and if you have the same packaging and the same products, they'll get bored and they'll move on. So we always have to have some new products and packaging to do that, but also keep the favourites. Our potential to grow is both domestically and internationally. I guess at this stage our business model is selling through our own retail stores mainly, and so that's really not conducive to opening up stores overseas. But with our online business, we're hopeful of being able to supply overseas sort of in the next near future anyway, to at least some countries. So depending on which countries are favourable to allow our products coming in there. No, we don't think about selling them. We used to get quite a few inquiries about if we wanted to sell, but we say that we're a fourth generation going into the fifth and sixth. So if we sort out succession properly so that the next generations of family want to remain involved in some form, there's really no point. Basically, our sort of current statement is that we want to delight generations of chocolate lovers around the world. So that's it. It's our target is chocolate lovers, just not chocolate consumers.